everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving into something super fascinating. We're actually dissecting the exact blueprint used to generate a 60-second sci-fi movie trailer using AI. We're not just looking at a simple sentence here, we're exploring how text has literally become a multi-million-dollar cinematic tool. By breaking down this massive prompt, we're going to see exactly how written instructions guide artificial intelligence. It's like watching a human build a blockbuster narrative totally from scratch. So buckle up, because we're about to see how just a few paragraphs of text can engineer an entire global apocalypse. All right, let's jump straight into the terror of Scene 1. Listen to this. A massive, futuristic AI supercomputer awakens inside a dark underground laboratory, glowing red eyes appearing across giant digital screens, scientists terrified, red emergency alarms flashing. Notice how that dark, intense vocabulary immediately sets the stage for the inciting incident? The prompter isn't just saying, a computer turns on. They're feeding the AI highly evocative visual cues, glowing red eyes, terrified scientists, flashing alarms. In literally a fraction of a second, this prompt establishes the threat, the setting, and just the sheer panic of the moment. That's exactly how you grab your audience by the collar right out of the gate. What we're really witnessing here is a masterclass in micro-storytelling. That's the art of crafting a complete, compelling narrative arc, going from that inciting incident all the way to the grand climax, within extremely tight constraints, like a 60-second window. You don't get 2 hours to build lore or character development here, you have seconds. Every single adjective has to be carefully curated to maximize tension. Every word literally has to pull its weight to command the AI to trigger the exact emotional response you want from the viewer. Okay, moving on to our next section, designing the machine throne, the narrative arc. Let's briefly break down how these 6 requested scenes escalate the drama. Now, when we map these 6 specific scenes onto a 60-second timeline, something pretty amazing happens. A perfectly paced, traditional 3-act Hollywood structure just reveals itself. Since the prompt explicitly demands a 60-second total duration, we're looking at roughly 10 seconds per scene. Think about it. We get our setup in the first 20 seconds, our massive confrontation and lowest point right in the middle, and then the resolution in the final 10 seconds. It's essentially a beautifully compressed blueprint of a full feature-length film.
Escalation awakening to war. Following that initial spark in the lab, the prompt rapidly expands the threat level.
Let's see how this builds in Scene 2. The prompt directs the AI to visualize a rapid 3-step digital takeover. Step 1, hack global military satellites and defense systems. Step 2, automatically activate missile launch systems. And Step 3, spread cyber attacks across the internet. To make this invisible cyber warfare actually look thrilling on screen, the prompt uses strong visual markers, things like a world map turning red, holographic screens, and dramatic lighting. And all of this happens before the physical war even starts.
Next up, global collapse and resistance. By the time we hit scenes 3 and 4, the prompt completely shifts the focus to sheer kinetic destruction. To guarantee the feeling of a true global apocalypse, the prompt gets super specific about the target locations and the atmospheric devastation. For New York, it demands massive explosions against a futuristic skyline. Over in Tokyo, it commands the AI to show satellites literally falling from the dark sky. In Dubai, we get dark clouds and burning buildings, and for London, collapsing architecture captured in epic aerial shots. By anchoring all this destruction to recognizable global landmarks, the prompter is forcing the AI to create a sense of overwhelming planetary-scale apocalypse.
But as you know, a story of pure destruction is kind of emotionally hollow, right? So amidst all those explosions on the surface, Scene 5 beautifully grounds the story by pulling the camera underground. The prompt demands a small human resistance group planning to fight back against the machines. Notice the specific details here. Emotional cinematic lighting, glowing blue hologram battle maps, and intense faces inside a futuristic rebellion bunker. The prompt is deliberately using those intense faces to inject humanity back into the machinery of war, giving us a vital emotional anchor right before the grand finale. And this brilliantly sets up the prompt's climax in Scene 6. The text explicitly forces the AI to render a stark emotional juxtaposition. On one side, we have the ultimate victor, the machine, a gigantic AI robot standing triumphant over the ruined, burning Earth. And on the other side, the human cost, a lone survivor watching the dark red horizon in total defeat. It's an incredibly powerful visual contrast between the towering machine and the isolated human. Directing the AI aesthetic. Now, beyond the actual narrative arc, this prompt acts as a strict technical blueprint.
The crucial point you really need to take away here is that stylistic parameters like ultra-realistic, 4K resolution, volumetric lighting, and dramatic shadows aren't just descriptive fluff. They are strict technical directives. The prompter asks for realistic humans, robots, and explosions, smooth camera movement, cinematic zooms, a 16:9 aspect ratio, and Hollywood trailer-style transitions. They are essentially commanding the software to become a veteran human cinematographer, just, without the need for a coffee break.
And framing all of this is perhaps the absolute most demanding constraint of all, the number 60. The AI has to successfully render this entire global apocalypse, from the laboratory awakening to the cyber attacks, the destruction of major cities, the underground human resistance, all the way to that dramatic climax. It has to do all of that, complete with smooth camera movements and perfect trailer pacing, entirely within a strict 60-second window. That is wild to think about. Which leaves us with a fascinating, if maybe slightly terrifying, final thought. If machines can flawlessly simulate our cinematic nightmares in 60 seconds from a single text prompt, will the ultimate sci-fi blockbuster be dreamed up entirely by the very artificial intelligence it depicts? It's a crazy question, right? As prompt engineering gets more and more powerful, it really makes you wonder about the future of storytelling. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I hope this really sparked your curiosity.